Today we're busting myths, specifically concrete myths. And just like concrete, our facts are going to be cold and hard. You might have even heard some of these myths before. These 11 common misconceptions can seriously mess up the concrete drying process, all the while wasting your time and money. But if you watch this concrete myth-busting video, you'll be able to move forward confidently with all of your concrete projects. Before we jump into the first myth, here's your one and only reminder to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our super helpful videos about moisture, flooring, and everything you can do to improve your business. On to our first myth segment. These first three myths are about the concrete surface. Myth number one, if the concrete surface is dry, the slab is dry. Wrong! The fact is this: concrete can look dry without actually being dry. So even if the surface is hard and dry, moisture can linger deep below the concrete surface. Myth number two, the concrete surface looks and feels dry. That means that your flooring is going to be just fine. Nope. Moisture within the slab will slowly evaporate, which could cause flooring adhesive failures and even damaged wood and other flooring installed above it. And for our last myth in this segment, myth number three, surface testing is all you need to correctly assess a slab's moisture. Once again, absolutely not. Because the surface is exposed, moisture will leave it sooner, which is why it seems dry. But that's not an accurate depiction of the slab's moisture content. The further you get from the slab's surface, the wetter it will be. You need a testing system that can assess the moisture and measure it accurately, like relative humidity probes that you can install within the slab. Now that we've set the record straight regarding concrete surfaces, let's move on to our next segment, myths about concrete time and age. Myth number four, the concrete in this building is so old, it's just gotta be dry. Au contraire, mon frere. Concrete age alone doesn't really help you determine its moisture condition. You've got to consider its environment. Wet environment equals wet concrete, even if it's been sitting there for 100 years. Myth number five, drying time can be estimated accurately. The general rule of thumb is that concrete needs 28 days of drying time per inch of thickness, but you can't fully depend on that estimation. Again, environmental factors can seriously determine the drying time of a concrete slab. Ideally, you would determine a drying trend over several moisture measurements. This could be easily done by connecting a relative humidity probe to your phone via Bluetooth, kind of like this one. Speaking of relative humidity testing, or RH testing for short, segment number three is all about concrete testing myths. Myth number six, all RH tests are the same. Naturally, different RH tests have different features. Most RH sensors are removable, which means for each measurement, you need to insert the probe, wait for it to acclimate, and only then get a good measurement. This also often leads to leapfrogging, moving the sensor from one hole to the next, often with insufficient time allowed to let them equilibrate to each new test hole. But Wagner's Rapid RH L6 sensors can be installed directly into the slab and left there for good. That means no repeated acclimation times and no risk of leapfrogging. Myth number seven, the exact depth of an RH testing hole doesn't matter. This is like saying it doesn't matter how many eggs you put in a cake recipe, or saying it doesn't matter if you put an approximate address for a package delivery. It just doesn't work that way. The depth of an RH testing hole does matter. Standard F2170 from the American Society for Testing and Materials states that the hole must be drilled to 40% of the slab depth for slabs drying from one side. For slabs drying from two sides, testing 20% of the slab depth is necessary for accurate RH test results. Being precise about these measurements means that we can properly track the moisture condition of the slab, which results in better results for you and your client. Last but not least, segment number four is all about external factors. Myth number eight, all floor products have different moisture tolerances. Now this one is just plain silly. Of course, different flooring is going to tolerate moisture differently. Even flooring that seems similar, like hardwood and engineered wood, is going to react differently to moisture. But the moral of the story here is that any prolonged exposure to excess moisture is bad no matter the flooring material. Myth number 9, if the slab isn't on grade, there's no need to do moisture testing. Just because your concrete slab isn't on the ground doesn't mean you can ignore moisture testing. Even if it is pre-existing, excess moisture can always be present. Always test. Better safe than sorry. Myth number 10, concrete additives don't impact drying time. What if I told you that many concrete additives are actually meant to impact drying time? Additives like lignosulfonate or different polymer compounds are specifically meant to reduce drying time by reducing moisture in your concrete. But no matter what additive you're using, the property of your concrete batch will change. There's no smart way to guess how it will impact things. Testing is the #1 way. Myth number 11, dust on a job site doesn't impact RH testing. You know how they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, it's no different on a job site. Even if you got dust particles everywhere, including within the hole you drill for an RH sensor, then the dust can actually cause the sensor to give you inaccurate readings. Make sure your job site is clean, vacuum out the hole you're drilling for the sensor, and consider flush mount protective caps to keep dust and other contaminants out of the test hole. And that's that! 11 busted myths that cover what you need to know from the surface of your slab to the environment it's installed in. Now you can confidently move forward with your concrete projects. And a bonus is that you know the tools that you need to do it, the most important of which is a reliable RH testing system like the Rapid RH L6 sensor system from Wagner Meters. Do you have questions? Or are there some myths still lingering in your mind? We've got a wealth of information at Wagner Meters' website that can answer your questions and more. For now, I'm Jason Spangler, signing off. Here's to happy concrete, happy floors, happy clients, and a happy you.